Hi, this is Stan, Marketing Manager, Aussizz Group NSW. Welcome to Aussizz Talkshow. We've received an overwhelming response for episode 1, and thank you, viewers, for staying with us and subscribing to us. We are in our episode number 2. Today we have with us Mr. Hardik Patel. He's the Director Paramata for Aussizz Group. He's a busy man. He's a well-known figure in the industry, has been in the industry for a while, has helped 5,000 plus clients in his career, has been helping clients now. We've brought Mr. Hardik Patel on the show to discuss a very specific topic with us. We are going to talk about DAMA today and how it can help you get PR in Australia. Before I introduce Mr. Hardik Patel, don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. Hi Hardik, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Stan.
We're glad to have you on the show. And we know that you're a busy man, but thank you for being on the show.
It's been, you can say, a lot of things are happening at the days. Let's say personal life is really good, no issues. In terms of current process towards immigration, a lot of changes are happening, and the government has already announced that there are a lot of changes coming up, a lot of reforms coming up in this July 2024 migration year. So we are waiting for further updates from the government, so then we can guide the students with the right direction, with the right information, and then they can start focusing on meeting the further requirements.
Hardik, coming to the point, I've heard a lot of noise about DAMA. I do not know what DAMA is, and I think 90% of our viewers would also not know what DAMA is. I would want you to explain what DAMA is and how it can lead to permanent residency in Australia.
Now, DAMA is a designated area migration agreement between the regional council body and the Department of Home Affairs, so Australian government technically. So what happens is, let's say in the regional area there are labor shortages, skilled worker shortages are going on, right? So the regional bodies, they have made an agreement with the Australian government that the businesses, local businesses from the area, regional area, they can let's say bring on board the overseas workers, right, in that area, and they can come and then work for the business, and also in return they get the permanent pathway towards PR from the regional area. So that's the DAMA program. There are a lot of DAMA programs are available. Let's say talking about the NSW state, there is RDA Orana DAMA. Similarly, we have DAMA program available for the South Australia, Northern Territory, Western Australia, Victoria as well. So each and every state has their own agreement with the Australian government, where local businesses from regional areas can sponsor migrants. They can come, they can work for the business in that regional area. It helps businesses for a growth. At the same time, also it helps regional areas to growth as well further. How it helps people. So let's say in a DAMA program there are a lot of occupations which are not qualified to get permanent residency in a, let's say, standard pathway. Occupations such as a bookkeeper, or let's say occupations such as accounts clerk, or let's say personal assistant. So what happens is these occupations are available under DAMA program, and in these occupations people, they get certain concessions as well in meeting the age requirement, where standard requirement is that person should be under 45, but then let's say under DAMA program it can go up to 55 as well. So anyone who is between even 45 to 55 can be eligible to apply for the visa under DAMA program and get the permanent residency. Also at the same time, someone who is not having, let's say, a good level of English, they can also proceed with the DAMA program, where you don't need high level of English scores such as a 7 each or 8 each for the skill visa. So if you are having, let's say, competent English, or let's say 5 in each, for example, in IELTS, you can be eligible to apply for visa under DAMA program. At the same time, let's say people, they get the exemption under the meeting income threshold as well, which is currently set as per the 70,000 per annum, which is going to be 73,150 from July onwards. So there are certain exemptions in meeting the requirement under the DAMA program as well, which are more benefit towards employer and towards the employees as well. Another thing is that, let's say, for example, somebody who completed their studies in accounting, let's say bachelor's of accounting, master's of accounting. I have seen a lot of people since last 10 years in accounting field are struggling to get a PR through a skilled visa pathway. And let's say after completing the course, getting a job as an accountant straight away is something difficult to find. So people who are approaching the accounting firms, or let's say the local businesses to work in a finance field, they usually in at the initial stage, I believe, they get a job starting from bookkeeping or let's say accounts clerk. And let's say after working certain years in this field, they progress towards the further, let's say, pathway towards accountants and finance manager as well. However, let's say by the time they progress towards their, let's say, initial goal of accounting or let's say finance manager, they run out of their visa, their temporary visas as well. So let's say at the initial stage, if they have worked in accounting as accounts clerk or bookkeeper, these occupations are available under the DAMA program as well. So if they have an employer from the regional area, and if they are happy to sponsor in these occupations, yes, there are good pathway for them to get a PR through accounting clerk, bookkeeping occupations as well.
Thank you for that, Hardik. Can you also share us a case study for DAMA?
It's a recent case where the person who completed his master's in accounting, and his course was completed somewhere around in 2018 or 2019. And then after that, as you know, he got temporary visa, graduate visa for 2 years. And in the meantime, COVID came in, and then due to COVID situation, he was unable to fly back. Or let's say due to the COVID situation, businesses were closed as well. So he was not able to find job in his field. So what happened is he applied for 408 COVID visa, and then let's say while he, like everyone was suffering from COVID period, he was in the same situation. He was keep like looking for the job. What happened is, let's say, post COVID, somewhere around in 2022 or 21, he found a job in regional area. And the job started with the accounts clerk level of role. Now recently, when RD Orana came in to the let's say the new areas came into the DAMA program, he was working in a Griffith, and Griffith was not part of the DAMA program, which was recently came in, right? So what happened is, he when he got a news that okay, now Griffith is under DAMA program, and his occupation accounts clerk is there, and his employer is happy to sponsor as well. He just connected with me. He called me that okay, I want to know more information about the DAMA program. And then at the same time, we had our regional tour as well. So we went to Griffith, and then I met his employer as well, explained the entire process of the DAMA program. And now we are in the current process of let's say processing his application under DAMA program, which was really good news for him.
Hardik, we've seen a lot of people staying in metro cities and a lot of people migrating to regional areas for PR. What is your take on that?
Now, for this one, for this question, it takes a lot of time to analyze. The reason is that it depends on occupation as well. It depends on industry demand in the regional area as well. For example, if somebody is, let's say, working, or let's say somebody is from the pharmacist background, let's say working in the industry of pharmacy, like in a manufacturing industry, like working as a industrial pharmacist, right? Now when it comes to, let's say, the DAMA program, it might be quite hard for that guy to find a job in the regional area as industrial pharmacist. So for that person, most probably living in metropolitan area, looking for a job in metro area and working in his field might be easiest option, and most probably he can make his career further. So yeah, it depends on occupation. Some occupations, such as let's say aged care, or let's say disabled carer. Now recently, last year, department, they brought this industry into the labor agreement, where even let's say company from the metropolitan area can complete the labor agreement with the immigration, and upon approval they can sponsor a person from the metropolitan area as well. However, earlier this option was not there. So let's say such occupations can move to a regional area where the DAMA program is available. And let's say if their occupation is not available in the normal pathway, but if it is available in the DAMA program, yes, definitely, if they have an employer who is willing to sponsor, it can be easy and a good option for them to get a sponsorship.
Hardik, what would you say about specific occupations? Let's say accounting.
There are few options available. Let's say if we are talking about the occupation as an accountant, right, then accountant occupation is currently available in medium and long term occupation list, short term, and the regional occupation list as well. So let's say you don't have to find an employer only from the DAMA program. It can be from anywhere in Australia, right? If you have right skills and if you meet the experience requirement for particular occupation, let's say for example as an accountant, you need to have 2 years experience at the moment for 482 visa from anywhere in Australia. Let's say if you have an employer, they can sponsor you, which is going to be 1 year, which is another good news after November 2023. So yep. Other option is, let's say if you have 3 years experience in your field, and if employer is available anywhere in Australia, they can sponsor you in the 186 visa as well, direct entry. And apart from that, there is another option 494 as well with a 3 years of experience. That can be possible option. Let's say, but if you have, let's say, a year of experience, looking at current situation, if you're not meeting the requirement of 482, 186, 494, yes, at that time, if the occupation is available under DAMA, if you have an employer who is willing to sponsor under the DAMA program, we can still proceed further with a less amount of experience, right? Because we are getting the concession on the DAMA program. So that's where we get the benefit of DAMA.
Thank you, Hardik, for being on the show. And thank you guys for listening to us so patiently. We'll be back with more episodes on different topics to discuss on immigration and migration for Australia. We have more guests that are lining up to join us on podcasts. Stay tuned. This is Stan signing off. And don't forget to subscribe and like our content. And or do also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and get in touch with us on our website. And we do have a WhatsApp number. You can get in touch with us there. Thank you.